Hola, buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
De Miami Beach. As you can see, we're home from our cruise. We wanted to talk real quick about the cruise itself. Not totally, but at least the top 3 things that we really liked about it and the 3 things that we really disliked about this particular cruise. So, amor, what's that in your hand? Un poco champagne.
Es nice. La tarde lo amerita.
Sí.
Es una muy buena tarde.
Beautiful night.
Es
Beautiful
hermoso.
evening. Yeah.
El clima también está perfecto, baby.
Yeah.
Me gusta.
That's perfecto. Sí. I'm Dan, and this is my wife, Andrea. If you enjoy traveling for day trips, weekend getaways, food excursions, and more, we invite you to join us on our journeys, sharing with you our adventures, our insights, our thoughts, and our recommendations of the places that we visit. Come join us and have fun. It was an 8-day cruise, late nights, 3 ports of call. It was supposed to be Bonaire, Aruba, and Curaçao, but for COVID or whatever, we weren't able to go to Bonaire. We went to Grand Cayman instead. But we had a blast on all 3 ports. We really did. And you can see the videos. We already have one posted of the Curaçao. We have one posted of Grand Cayman, the swimming with the turtles, the Nautilus, and we'll be posting soon, if not already, the one from Aruba. So stay tuned for those, watch those. But before we get into that, what I want to do is invite you to subscribe, like the videos, and comment too. If you like our content, please share. It doesn't cost anything. It's probably one of the few things that's free. Really helps us to grow and to create additional content for our growing family, actually, and we're doing pretty good. So keep it up. We appreciate everything you're doing for us.
It's my turn?
Hey, welcome back, everybody. We're just having a funny discussion here. But anyway, so we're going to start off with the top 3 things that we liked about this cruise.
Ok. Bueno, 3 cosas que nos hayan gustado de este crucero, de esta aventura.
Exactly.
Okay.
The top 3 things. So first of all, what we talked about was the price. The price was really good for this cruise. It was 8 days. I think I paid, actually I don't even remember what I paid. I want to say maybe $1,000 a piece. But remember, that includes everything.
Bueno, está diciendo que el precio es muy bueno y más o menos 1,000 algo por persona, pero está todo incluido. Está incluida la comida, está incluido el servicio de las habitaciones, las atracciones, ¿sí? Bueno, la diversión en general, ¿no? Hacer las paradas en cada isla. Son unas vacaciones cortas, pero bien provechosas. Son bellas. Los 7 días, 8 días se disfrutan mucho.
Right.
Okay, baby.
Well, and the second thing, and it goes along with what she was just saying, are the islands, the locations. I think that was the number 2 thing that we decided that we really liked about this cruise. The islands that we visited, the excursions that we took. There's some pretty neat excursions, and I think I said in the beginning of the video, the introduction, make sure you watch those videos. They're going to be posted probably at the end of this video or even down in the comments. But we had a really enjoyable time. We'd really like for you to, take a look at those videos, see if it's something that you want to do. If you have questions, you can always send us a comment and ask us in the comment section. And then the number 3 thing that we liked was...
Bueno, la segunda es que le gustan las paradas en cada isla, lo que vemos allí. Bueno, son nuevos lugares. Es tiempo realmente muy corto porque son más o menos 6, 8 horas lo que tú puedes permanecer dentro de la isla, de la parada del barco. Y bueno, a él le gusta eso. ¿Y la tercera cosa que te gusta cuál es?
And the number 3 thing that we really like about the ship, and one of the reasons I love Royal Caribbean, is really the lines of the ship. Just very classic. I know a lot of people enjoy Carnival, and We've taken Carnival also, and it was a great cruise, but there's just something classic that I really like about the lines, or we like about the lines of the Royal Caribbean.
Bueno, la tercera cosa es la administración que tiene el barco, que es un barco de clase, es bello por dentro, le gusta las habitaciones, el balcón. A mí me gustó el balcón, me pareció divino, me pareció hermoso ese balcón. Pues no tengo mucha experiencia, el que tiene la experiencia es él, pero...
I don't know, 19 cruises, isn't that many?
Exacto.
19, ¿verdad? No mucho.
Yo tengo 3 en este año, voy por 2 más. Y de acuerdo a lo que vi, me pareció el barco bello. Bello, las escaleras, los baños comunes, de las áreas comunes, es bello, súper bello. El barco es muy bonito.
Yeah, the ship is beautiful. The lines are great. Just the relaxed feeling on the ship itself, it's wonderful. So now, the 3 things that we disliked about this cruise.
Okay.
Number 1, by far, was the service that we received on this cruise. Absolutely terrible. I may put it at the end of this video, so stay tuned, but we did a video the morning after our first night on the cruise that we talked about how bad the service was. And I've been on, like I said, 18 previous cruises, 7 previous Royal Caribbean cruises, and I've never, ever had service this bad before. It was absolutely horrible, which goes into part of that too. Then comes the food. We're combining those two because we had nights where the food was really good. The lobster, the steak were really good, but there were nights when we would get things, food to come out, and it was cold. The flavor wasn't there. It just really was not good.
Bueno, estuvimos 8 días en el barco, 7 de ellos visitamos el restaurante. Es un restaurante principal, es un restaurante grande de 3 pisos, ¿sí? Y no sabemos si era que había muy poco personal, muy poco servicio para mucha gente, y por ese motivo no era bueno, se demoraban mucho. De hecho, las personas que nos acompañaron durante las noches, muchos de ellos se quejaron porque la comida estaba fría. Sin embargo, sí había buena comida, había pescado, pollo, carne. Bueno, tú sabes, cuando vas a un...
Longunista. Muy bueno.
Sí, pero el servicio pues malo.
Yeah, the service was really bad. And once we got off the ship, though, I did some research, and it's not something that's exclusive to Royal Caribbean. And everything that I've read, and all the Carnival, Royal Caribbean, Norwegian cruise lines, Disney, they're all experiencing employee shortfalls. They're having difficulty with getting a lot of the employees back that were working in the cruise industry prior to COVID. And the ones that do want to come back, they're having a hard time getting visas to come back. A lot of the people that were working previously apparently got other jobs and they don't want to come back. I know Royal Caribbean has a plan in place where they're going to be actually traveling to several countries. I had heard that they're opening up like 10,000 jobs to Jamaicans throughout their fleet. So hopefully in the next 6 months that'll change. But right now, if you're going on a cruise, especially the cruises that are operating at almost full capacity, well, they don't have the staff to handle full capacity right now. So expect service to really not be the best, and the food probably as well. But the 8th night that we were there, we decided not to go to the main dining hall. We went to the Windjammer, and the food was good. But you serve yourself, and you can get as much as you want. So, but it was good, you know. We do enjoy sitting in the main dining room. The 2 previous cruises that we had this year were much better experience, but they were sailing at half capacity. So half crew, half capacity, definitely manageable. But that kind of goes into our second one, and we're going to talk about entertainment. But The entertainment that we saw was good, but we're not sure what the other entertainment was like because we missed a lot of the shows. 4 shows, right? Because we didn't get out of dining in time.
Pocos.
So, and we'll talk about entertainment in a whole nother video. But the entertainment on this one, we assume it was good because what we saw was good, but we missed at least 4 shows because of the service in the dining hall and the main dining facility.
Como nos demorábamos tanto en el servicio de la cena, entonces no sabemos si era que nos demorábamos tanto comiendo mientras nos servían la cena que perdíamos el entretenimiento que había más tarde. Sin embargo, los pocos entretenimientos eran muy bellos. Me gustó mucho. Los pocos entretenimientos que tuvimos eran muy bellos, bien hechos, muy profesionales. Patinaje en el hielo, hermoso. En la noche la rumba latina, me encantó.
Colombianos.
Yes, muy buena banda.
And we'll talk about them in another video, but just because they are so good and we actually became friends with them. So we'll talk about that in another video. Classic tones, we'll point you out right now, but we'll talk about you in another video. And that brings us to... So, mi amor, ven aquí. In this beautiful location with the mangroves. The third and final dislike was the last day. And what happened on the last day? The last day on the disembarkation. It was absolutely terrible. So
terrible.
Our 2 previous cruises this year, we got off the ship in minutes, literally minutes. On this one, from the time we were supposed to be off until the time we actually got off was about 2 hours. We were supposed to disembark the ship at 9, and I think it was, well, maybe not 2 hours, maybe 10:30, quarter to 11 by the time we finally got to our car, so almost 2 hours. I'll post a video on this one of the line just so you can see how long it was going through customs. So when I asked the employee of Royal Caribbean what was going on, he's like, oh, customs is holding us up. There's something going on and they're holding us up and they're not letting us go through. Well, little did he know, I have a friend who used to work for me, now works for customs in Miami at the port. So I called him and I said, hey, his name, what's going on at the port that they're holding up the Explorer of the Seas? He's like, let me get back to you. So about 15 minutes later, he gets back to me and he says, Dan, there's nothing going on. It's got to be the ship. So it was very, very frustrating. And I was even telling Andrea that I don't think it was the ship. I really did think it was the customs, because I know sometimes that kind of stuff goes on and happens. But apparently it was, in fact, the ship's fault and not customs. So very disappointing, very disheartening. I did not give this cruise a very good rating when I sent in the survey that they asked for at the end of the cruise. I basically told them I'm going to do one more cruise, and if the service and everything was as bad as this one, that I won't sail on Royal Caribbean again. Having said that, if we get a good deal, a cruise is a cruise, so we'll cruise regardless. But one of the things that we did on the last one, on this one, we actually used the ship service to get our bags off the ship. So in the future, and I know better because I've taken so many cruises, just carry your bags off the ship. It's so much easier than getting them at night. I just didn't want the hassle. But the reality is you still got to pick them up before you go through customs. So you still have to travel with them. So really it's just off the ship to customs, and you can be off the ship at 7 o'clock or 7:30. Now I like to eat in the main dining room in the morning of the last day to get that last free meal. But I'm not sure that it was worth it this time.
Bueno, pues esa fue la experiencia que nos tocó vivir a Dani y a mí. Existieron otras personas que sí pudieron evacuar rápido el barco, pero porque no tomaron su desayuno, su breakfast. Entonces paró el barco a 7 de la mañana y ya estaban afuera. Exactamente no sabemos el por qué nos demoramos tanto. De acuerdo a lo que él está diciendo, tiene sus contactos y bueno, en general la salida no fue muy buena, duramos mucho tiempo, con las maletas nos pesaban mucho. Recuerda que cuando vas a viajar a un crucero, tú no tienes, por decirlo así, límite de maletas, de peso. Entonces nosotros llevábamos, bueno, soy mujer y me gusta la ropa, y tenía mucha ropa y zapatos. Entonces él estaba un poco molesto también porque tenía que cargar con muchas cosas durante mucho tiempo.
Es muy fuerte.
Sí, yo sé, mi amor. Entonces, bueno, esa fue nuestra experiencia. No todo fue malo, hubieron cosas muy buenas. La pasamos muy rico. A mí me gustó. Hubieron más cosas buenas que malas.
Yeah, overall, I mean, even though with those three things, tres cosas, no bueno, I mean, we're going to keep cruising. We have 2 more cruises scheduled this year, one in August on Royal Caribbean, and then we have another one on the Carnival Sensation in November, which is the primary cruise or first cruise of that ship here in the United States. So I don't think there's going to be any more between now and then, unless, you know, we get a good deal, and then maybe, but you never know. I can't say no, because if I get another deal on a cruise like we did back in February at $25 a person, we'll be going on another cruise. Yeah. So I hope this was helpful. That's just our experience on this particular cruise. Again, disappointing when it comes to the service, missing the entertainment, and definitely on the disembarkation. But again, the lines are very classic for the for Royal Caribbean. I love Royal Caribbean cruises. Even Andrea, when she went on board, it really doesn't, they don't really compare to the Carnival cruise lines. And Carnival's great, don't get me wrong. We had a blast on the Carnival. We went on the Carnival Conquest twice, and we really enjoyed it. But there's just something about the way the Royal Caribbean ships are laid out that, to me, just makes them better. But that's just me. The Carnival Sensation is one of the new big ships for Carnival, so we'll see how that one compares. It's a new ship. It's just coming out this fall, so I suspect it's going to be pretty great. But we'll find out, you know. But again, we're going to take this opportunity to ask you to subscribe, like the videos, comments. We really do appreciate the following and your support. Become part of our travel family, if you will, of Dandrea. Andrea, pretty cute, right? But anyway, we really do appreciate you following us. But the subscription, again, it's free. Please subscribe, follow, and we hope you really enjoy this content and these videos, because we really enjoy doing it, and we're going to continue to travel. So we love this hobby, and we love the people that are following us. So thank you, and we hope to see you back here.
Thank you. Bye bye. Feliz tarde.